Riding with Junebuggy's back today, and we're in Sparta, North Carolina, and I'm with the guy who started me in my media journey, and that is the Alleghany High School principal, Mr. Travis Sturgill. And Travis, man, it's good to see you. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's good to see you. It's been a long time. I remember when you were in my class and when you were doing a lot of play-by-play for Alleghany High School football. So it's good to see you again.
Man, do they still do that? Do they do anything for the sports teams anymore?
No, we don't do any recording anymore, in terms of, putting it on Alleghany Cable
Right.
TV, but it really was a cool thing that we did there for a long time. We did that in conjunction with Alleghany Community Television, and they're no longer doing that, but still it was a really cool thing that we did a long time ago.
I think it was me, Wes Brenniger. I believe it was Charlie Scott was the director, if I remember this all correctly. And Arvel Cornett was in it a little bit. And that is, man, that's an all-star lineup right there if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie was great. He was the director of Alleghany Community Television for a long time. He has since retired. And then, of course, Wes, I mean, he was just a natural at calling football games and, basketball and all that. And I think Arvel did some basketball for us as well.
Right, he did volleyball. I think he was the more volleyball guy than anything. But, man, like I said, you and me, we didn't just do that, man. We had an all production class, and we did the news at lunch at break, right?
Yeah, we did. We produced Trojan News every Friday, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh man,
we had a lot of good times doing that.
man. How now? Do they still offer that here at the high school in that type of variety?
There is an Adobe video production class. They don't do really Trojan News, but they do a lot of video production work, and they learn about the Adobe Photoshop. They do Photoshop as well, and they also do Adobe Video. So
wow,
yeah, it's pretty cool. Miss Carrier does that. Tammy Carrier does that for us, and she actually took my job when I left to go into administration.
When did you go into administration?
I think it was around 2019. I started out as an assistant principal at Sparta Elementary.
Okay.
And then I moved into the principal position at Piney Creek School for 1 year. And the superintendent asked me to come to the high school after that. And I've been here. This will be my 6th year coming
wow.
up. So it's hard to believe it's been that long. Time flies.
And you came in during COVID, during the height of COVID, didn't you?
I sure did. I didn't even finish my assistant principal year at Sparta before COVID hit. And so right there at that time, I was principal at Piney Creek during COVID. And when I first came here, we were also sort of in the COVID mode. So that was an interesting time for sure.
What did a day look like in that time?
Well, we had out at Piney Creek in particular, we had a group of kids that came in on different schedules. So they would come in, 2 or 3 days a week each. So it was a really, at Piney Creek, there's 200 kids, but we'd only have half of them at a time. So the building seemed really empty when we had like 90, 95 kids in there. So, we put up all sorts of stickers for washing your hands and just had to be really mindful of wearing a mask. We had Alleghany High School masks here that we sold to students.
Oh, sure.
It was definitely a different time.
Right. And I'm looking into it now, like that feels like a lifetime ago, but it also feels like it was just yesterday that we were in that COVID era. And I remember when school shut down, and it was a 2-week shutdown that they didn't do anything, and they got rid of snow days for sure, because now y'all do remote learning, right?
We do. We do have a certain number of days that we can do remote learning. We still have a few snow days here and there when the weather's really, really bad. We just did a few, maybe 3 or 4 remote days this past year. But we do have those at our disposal in case we need them, which is really good. Allows us to keep going with our schedule and not get too far behind.
When when did you start teaching? Like, give us a timeline. Like, when did you actually start?
Well, it was the late 90s, probably 99. I came in here and I was the full-time sub actually for that year.
Okay.
And that got me going. I taught summer school that year. And my first real position here was right after that as the director of the cyber campus.
Right.
So I don't know if you remember the cyber
I
campus.
do.
We were one of 7 in the state at the time, and we had classes over the information highway. So now we have, Zooms.
Oh, yeah.
And all of that, but we didn't have that back then, and that was really innovative at the time. And we had, students who were taking classes from instructors in Wilkes.
Oh, yeah.
So that got me in the door, and I did that for a few years. And as Zooms and other technology advanced, the cyber campus sort of disappeared, and I started teaching video production and photography, and I did those 2 classes for many years before I moved into the Adobe classes, which I mentioned earlier that Tammy Carrier is now teaching.
Man, that's where we met, is the video production class. What got you into liking video production so much?
I don't know. Even before I went to college, I was really fascinated by the camera, and I wanted to be a cameraman for many years. And my mom and dad did a great thing for me. They convinced me to go ahead and finish my degree in education at Appalachian State. So I had a teaching degree, and then I went to film school. I went to Florida to do that.
Did you go to Full Sail?
I did not go to Full Sail, but I went to one that was right near there. At the time, it was called Phillips College, and they had a degree in film and video production. And I think they've now been maybe absorbed by another college and maybe even Full Sail.
Mm-hmm.
But and when I got done with that, I came back and I worked at Channel 3 in Charlotte. That was my first position. So
Wow.
I was a camera operator. Loved it. It was great.
Right.
It was really cool to be able to do that. Something I had sort of dreamed of. I also wanted to work on a movie, and I did that as well a little bit after that.
Did you show that to us? Because it was filmed in Sparta, right?
No, but I did not work on that one. But I did meet and work with the director many times. His name was Phil Smoot, and he was from the Jamestown area, High Point area, and he was the writer and director of that. And I can remember as a 15-year-old kid going to watch that movie, Alien Outlaw, being filmed out in Piney Creek, and that was really cool to see. And it was really cool that later on I got to work with that director, and he actually hired me to work on the first movie that I worked on. And
what did you work on?
It was called Last Lives. It was a Judge Reinhold movie.
Okay.
It was filmed in Yanceyville, up above Greenville.
Up in Reedsville area.
Yep. And it was a really interesting experience. I came home exhausted usually from that. But it was a cool time, and I got to work with and do a lot of different things in video production, and and eventually, before I started working here, I sort of got burned out with it because so much time invested, and a lot of people in that position, they work freelance, so you don't really know where your next job is coming from.
Right.
So you have to deal with that, and then we decided to move back here to the mountains. And when this position sort of came up with the school system, it seemed like a perfect fit because there was video production available, and I had a degree in education already, so it was really a good fit for me.
You talking about the Adobe class you teach, or that's getting taught now? Do they still do the editing, the Final Cut Pro editing in that, or do you know?
They don't do Final Cut Pro anymore. They use the Adobe version of their editing. So
I know that's what we're about to learn it for Sci Tech, and he told me that. He said we don't do that, but that's like a starter, production. And I'm gonna tell you, when I started doing it, I looked at the price for that thing. It's a one-time price, but man, that's expensive just to buy that. But if you're a student, Apple gives it to you for so much a year just for being able to. So and it's what I trust. So that's what I go with. But that was real fun because we not only did it, we edited sporting highlights, basketball games. I remember my senior year. You couldn't keep me out of the editing room. Officer Billings had to come and find me most of the time, and I was right there.
yeah, it's that's a tedious part of the process, the editing part. But
Oh, it's fun.
I always loved Final Cut Pro. I use that on some other work that I've done, and it's a really good program as well.
Man, I am in a different office than what the principal's office used to be in, man. And you said they tore it down. They've tore that part of it down.
Yeah, when they first started construction here, the first thing they had to do was take down the principal's office and the finance office, and then our one other area there. And they needed that because the new building was going to come very close to the old building.
Right.
So they had to take that part down, and uh, that moved me over into the old AD office.
Right.
Maybe had been the old SRO office at some point in time and before that.
Right. Now I've noticed recently, and it wasn't. I wasn't in. It wasn't when I was in school. And if it was, I didn't notice. There's SROs at every school now.
Yes, yes, there are school resource officers at every school. We've got a great one here, and I know they're great everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But Steve Carrier sort of leads the SROs for the county, and he's got a great mind for that, and does a great job.
Right, right. And now I'm seeing, and you have to have it in this day and age. Metal detectors are in schools and all that. Man, when did how long? When did all that start?
Yeah, metal detectors became a priority for us about 3 years ago. We have three currently,
Mm-hmm.
and we are able to. We can't, send everyone through those. There's just not enough time.
Right.
But we get most kids through those each day. And if you look around, I would say that we're probably leading in that aspect because a lot of the other schools are not doing metal detectors every day. They have them, but
Right.
they're only doing a small portion of the students that come into the building, and we're doing nearly all of our students. And we have some plans for the future. I hear we're going to be getting a different metal detector, and if so, we'll be able to send every student through that each day, and that's going to be that's important to us. One of the first things I learned as a principal is that you got to keep everyone safe.
Right.
You want to send them home just the way they came to school, and that's our number one priority.
Mm-hmm.
Is the safety of each student here. And there have been some incidents nearby in a neighboring county where a student brought a gun to school.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, you just don't know anymore. And back in our day, yeah, it was a thing. It was something, but it's not as big. It wasn't as big then. And I graduated in 2011. It wasn't as big then as it is now.
No, it's completely changed, and you have to take every comment. You have to take everything serious, and we do that.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have them at football games too?
We don't currently. And the big reason is these are not very easy to transport.
Right.
They're tall, they're heavy. But I could see that coming.
Oh yeah.
That's coming because if you go to Surrey County, they have I think a clear bag policy. They also have metal detectors at their sporting events. So I think that's probably coming for us at some point.
Oh yeah. Now is the clear bag policy a thing here?
It's not, but again,
everything's coming.
Yeah, I think if you institute those metal detectors at sporting events, you would have to have a clear bag policy in order to get everyone in a timely manner.
I'm gonna table the new high school talk for a minute. We'll get back to that. what with everything going on, what is a typical day like for you?
Well, during the school year, it's I would say hectic would be a good because you never know what's going to happen. You never know where you're going to be needed. Something could come up really quickly, like you could have a student who faints, and you've got to, rush over and attend to them, or you could have a discipline issue. So one of the things that I sort of like about my job is that you just sort of never know what your day is going to be like. We spend a good majority of our day out in the school system, out in the school building, and going into classes and talking to students and visiting with our teachers. And but it's a I would say it's a tough position because
Oh yeah,
not only do you have the school to look after, but you have sporting events after.
sure.
There's days I get here at 7 and leave at 10 at night.
Oh yeah,
During when we got basketball games, so it's demanding.
and you travel to some of those games too, don't you?
We do. We travel to a lot of football games, a lot of basketball games. We travel to.
Now is that required?
I've never been told that you have to do that, but I think it's good to be at those events
Right.
because you can see parents, you can talk to parents. They see you out and about. We care about these kids, and
Oh yeah.
we want to be there for them as much as we can, and so we travel as much as we can to events, especially like the state events for state playoffs.
Oh yeah.
We like to go to those as well, and I've got a great assistant principal in Misty McKnight, and
That's Tommy's wife, isn't it?
that is the old coach Tommy's wife. She's moved into administration last year.
For county commissioner too.
He is, and this was her first year last year, and moving into her second year this year, and she's done a great job.
Man, when I was in school, those kids were small. And Brock was just a little tiny thing. Now he's in what, Brevard College?
Yeah, I think this is his senior year upcoming at Brevard, playing basketball, and has had a good career, I believe.
Did I see that Emma is coaching cheerleading?
Emma, which is Tommy's daughter, and Misty's is our head coach for our varsity cheerleader.
Man, that's awesome how that family's still staying in it right now. Travis, what's something that people don't realize that you do? Like, I wrote it down probably differently. Yeah, what's some of the responsibilities people don't realize principals actually have around here?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, the number one job is the safety aspect, and then you'd be surprised. I probably get have to make. I would just guessing 20 to 30 decisions every day from people coming to you for advice, for permission for things.
Oh yeah,
It's really
because the buck stops with you.
yeah, it's sometimes overwhelming because I say, okay, email me that so I don't forget,
Right.
like that, because they stop me in the hall, I might forget, their question. But it's there are a lot of responsibilities. I think probably a lot of people don't realize how much time sporting events take for us here, and how much supervision that we have to do during those sporting events. So at every home event, we have security.
Now, how much security do you have at a home event? And that's not just, I'm not talking football, I'm talking all of it.
Well, it varies with the sport. With football, we have more security,
Right.
because it's sort of a bigger and wide open area.
Oh yeah.
With basketball, we usually have at least the SRO here, and a lot of times we have more. We also have a sheriff's deputy down with traffic
Right.
control for us during those games, because
And right now you need it more than ever.
now, and that's really why we have it, is because of construction, because there's just not a great place for people to park, and so it's really necessary to have that. And a lot of people probably think that we're Misty and I are just watching the games, but we're also watching the crowd.
Sure.
We're trying to keep the crowd under control. We're trying to make make sure the students don't get out of line in the student section.
Oh yeah.
So we have to sort of, continually scan, the crowd and walk around to make sure that, everybody is doing what they should be doing.
Now, when I was here, all the basketball games were in the new gym.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're in the old gym. Yep. What moved them over to this gym compared to that one?
I think what happened in the end was that the concession stand became such an issue in the new gym.
Oh, it was tight.
It was very tight. The concession stand itself is small, but when you have a line of people in the doorway, that creates a safety
fire hazard.
And I think, Dr. Beasley was the superintendent at the time. He said, we just can't do this anymore. We need to move back up to the old gym where we have more room. The concession stand is probably 4 times as large.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what moved it back up here. It's a great volleyball court down there. If you haven't seen that court, they painted it in.
Oh, I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Do they still play the volleyball games down there?
They do. I will tell you though that after this season, we are going to be back in the new gym for basketball for at least probably a year, and that's due to construction.
Right.
They're going to cut off access to the old gym, or what we call now the gold gym. They're going to cut off access to that after this season. So we'll be back down there for a little while, but
not much.
But we'll be back hopefully in our main gym, which seats twice as many as this gym.
Right.
For basketball, probably in the fall of 28. Or the winter season when basketball starts, we should be having basketball in the new gym, the main gym.
Before we get to the construction, I do want to talk about a couple of people, and one of them being Zach Bennett. He is the AD, and he's the head football coach, which I haven't got a chance to tell him. I'm hoping to see him before I leave, but long overdue as a head coach of the football team. He knows his stuff.
Yeah, when I first came here, Noah Line was the head coach.
Oh yeah, and I've heard good things about him.
Yeah, he did a great job, and led us to the playoffs on several occasions. But he told me, I've got like 3 years left, and that was when I first came here. So I knew immediately that when he retired, that my recommendation was going to be for Zach Bennett to get that position because I thought he deserved it. He had waited in line; it was his turn, and as you can tell, he's done a great job. Of course, leading us to one of our best records in a long time.
8-3.
Yeah,
and then looking to get maybe better this year. I've heard a couple of people say that this team could compete with Star Mount for a conference championship this year, and you've had home playoff games.
Yeah, we're missing a couple of seniors who graduated. Our quarterback John LeMasters is going to be really hard to replace, but we've got some good people coming up that show some promise in that position, and we've got some running backs coming back. But if we can replace those positions, I think we'll make a good run again this year.
And we talked about him a little bit beforehand, but man, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Charlie Scott just a little bit because you and I both know Charlie, and he's a good guy, great guy. Where did you meet him at?
Yeah, Charlie's great. So it was probably early in my career. Charlie was doing, I think, the audio and video for the Methodist Church down here, and he came up. He knew I was into video production, and he came up and I talked to him, met him for the first time, and I told him, I said, we've got this cable channel, and at the time it was called Channel 50.
Right.
And, we were showing NASA, it was under the control of the cyber campus. So we were just showing some things that we had access to. And I mentioned to him, this would be could be a great channel if we had someone maybe to sort of take it over and run with it. And, we worked together for a long time trying to get that going. And we finally found a pot of money that came from the state specifically for that type of channel.
Oh yeah.
And we were able to develop it into, what it became.
Right.
And, Charlie ended up as the director of ACTV. And, before he retired, he spent many, many years. And I will say he spent many, many years doing it really for nothing.
Oh yeah.
And
he loved it. He couldn't get away
did.
from it.
He just enjoyed that type of work. And so I taught him how to edit. I showed him, about shooting and things like that, and how to shoot video. And man, he just took off with it, and was great with our interns.
Yeah.
You might have even been an intern. I don't know,
but I wasn't an intern, but man, you couldn't keep me out of the cyber campus in the editing room. So I worked with him. It didn't matter if I interned or not. So
yeah, but a great guy, a great person for to lead Channel 50 and ACTV, and he's since retired. But
is he still around?
He is around. I saw him at graduation, I think the year before last. But yeah, he's still around doing great. But he was really a good guy.
Right. All right, Travis, let's get into it. We've mentioned construction quite a bit. Let's get into what it is. The first inkling that we knew that the high school was getting built, and it was from a grant. I believe it was and the numbers are out there, which is why I have no problem saying them. It was $59 million from the state. And then it got to, I think the county put in $7 more million. I think it was a $67 million project and all. But this started in 24, right? Am I right? Is the time frame that?
It may have started just a little bit sooner. Dr. Beasley was the one who secured the initial money. And
now that was the superintendent beforehand.
That was the superintendent.
Now who is the superintendent now?
Missy Weaver is the current superintendent, and if I'm not mistaken, this is her probably 4th year.
Okay.
So even before that, Dr. Beasley, before he retired, he secured that initial allotment of money. And so I would say, it goes back maybe even 5 years ago when the first thought about, building this school came about. And there were some delays. Once the architects came back with the plan,
right,
the initial amount of money was not really enough to cover everything. And had that not happened, the school might have been built already. But
right,
having the county commissioner step up and provide some additional funds was huge, because that allowed us to move forward with construction.
Let you break ground, right?
Yeah. We had a groundbreaking, and we were all full steam ahead once we received those extra funds.
Now, because let's add some context here just a little bit. Where we're sitting at today is the original Alleghany High School building, correct? Because this is a 50-year-old. This is more than 50 years old, right?
Yeah, I think it's close to 60 years old. I believe maybe the first class was in 67, if I'm not mistaken, and we're coming up on 27 here. So by the time this building is torn down, it'll be 60 years old.
Now, when did the new building get built? That's where I'm still. Was it 2000 that new building got built?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact date. I've talked to a few people about that. We're thinking it's at least 20 years old. And that's the addition that we call the new building.
Right. Yeah.
It's now we're going to rename it because we have a new building, but this may be the old new building. But
you're keeping that building.
We are keeping that building, and we are keeping what we call the Gold Gym, which is our old gym that's been around, since the facility was first built.
You're talking about You're not talking about this old building, Jim. This is getting torn down.
No, this gym is staying.
Well, they're keeping this gym. See, so they're just tearing this building down.
Exactly. We'll have 3 gyms once the construction is complete.
Well, that'll be good. That way, basketball practices and volleyball practices can be separated. And if you need to have games at the same time, that ain't a bad idea.
Well, I think they also thought, our recreation department uses our gyms quite a bit for the little kids, and having 3 gyms just gives us a little more flexibility.
Will is the weight room staying too?
The weight room is staying, yes.
Okay. Now, y'all had, and I noticed it a couple years ago, the turf field, the new football field, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we received another grant that had to be spent on sports. There were no other options for that. It had to be on some athletic part of our facility. So we were able to, we actually put a brand new floor in the old gym. And we did a little bit of work at the baseball field.
What did you do there?
They just I think fortified some of the building. Not a whole lot of work went there. There was some that went to the tennis courts, but the majority of the funds were spent on the field. And of course, I'm sure everyone has seen it, but if you haven't, it's fantastic. It's amazing. It also gave us a track.
Oh yeah,
we've been able to hold our first track meets here, because before our track was not big enough for a meet.
Oh, I didn't know y'all had the track meets here.
Yeah, we've had, ever since we've had the turf field, we've had at least 1 track meet here per year. It's not big enough to hold like the conference track meet here, but for smaller, like for maybe 4 team fields, we can accommodate, and that's huge, because we couldn't do that before.
Right. Oh man, that is awesome, man. I didn't know that at all. But so let me ask this question: what are you most looking forward to with this new building?
Well, I think the space is one, because we are running out of space here. We have people who need an office, and it's really hard to find one. We have teachers who needs a classroom, or we have something new happening. Like we added a CTE teacher a couple of years ago.
Right.
And we had to find a classroom.
Oh, yeah.
We took the old computer lab and turned it into a classroom.
Oh, man. Now, is the new cyber campus, is there going to be a new cyber campus with all this, or no?
No, the cyber campus has sort of gone by the wayside with all the new technology that's come out. Those are not really relevant anymore.
Right.
But it will be a state-of-the-art high school with the latest technology, all new furniture.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's going to be brand new, and we're going to have touch boards on each teacher will have a touch board.
Oh man. Now when people do this now, I've heard this, a lot of schools assign students a laptop at the first year. Is that something that y'all do now, or is that something y'all will do?
Yes, we've been what's called a 1-to-1 district for some time now, which means every student in 912 has a Chromebook.
Oh, boy.
And really now every student in 512, I believe, has a Chromebook issued to them. So that is nice, because on remote days, students will have a Chromebook that they can use. They can also, take it to class as needed to use. So it that really is a huge deal.
One thing I'm noticing right now, and I noticed it when I drove up today, parking. How's the parking going to be? Because when I was here, parking was out where they're building it now.
Right.
What are they going to do with a student parking now?
Yeah, parking is difficult. That's one of the the major issues we've had during construction. even for sporting event parking.
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult because student parking is now below the central office next to the football field. As you can imagine, that's a pretty good walk
Oh, yeah.
up to the building, and it's all uphill. We do also have a few students who park in the Wilkes Community College parking lot. Those students who have classes over there can park there.
That's right. It's just right across the
Yep.
trees there. That's
And
right.
they come right up the hill there, and they can come into school that way. But that has been one of our biggest issues, and still will be until phase one is complete.
Let's talk about that a minute. We got a couple more minutes here. We're running low on time, but let's talk about that. Tell us about the phases, because you say phase one, and phase one's close, it looks like.
Yeah, phase one is supposed to be complete in April of 2027. So this school year, we should be moving into that, and that is all the administration building, all the administration offices, the student service offices, the cafeteria will be in there, all classrooms except for CTE. So everyone in this building will move either to the brand new building, or they will move to our old new building.
Now, are y'all going to wait till the school year's over to move the students over there and keep teaching, or is that just going to be a right away thing?
I don't think we know the exact answer to that at this point in time. We're under the assumption right now that we're going to have to move immediately.
Okay.
But it sort of depends on if that timeline changes for phase one completion. So right now, if we have to move, it's going to be really challenging during the year. I suspect we might even have to be remote for a few days in order to get that to happen. But if the timeline changes and it goes into May, we might wait to the end of the school year.
Because you're getting close to the end of the year. EOCs are coming up. Are they still called EOCs?
They are called EOCs.
Do you have as many as used to when I was here? Because I've heard that a lot of them have went to the wayside or something.
There's a lot less now than there used to be. So right now there are 4 classes that have an EOC. That's Math 1, English 2, Biology, and Math 3. So all the other classes have either a teacher-made exam, or some of the CTE classes have a state exam. But the EOCs are a lot less than they used to be.
Oh man, they were hard. Because I remember I had a couple science EOCs.
Yeah, there was history. There was all sorts of EOCs back in the day.
Yeah, man, I remember the athletic director was Sid Miller and he was and he taught a lot of history. So, and that's another place I spent a lot of time, because again, we mentioned Tommy McKnight. He was a history teacher and a basketball coach, one of the greats here. But Travis, man, we got to phase one. What is phase two? And I believe there's 3 phases, right? Am I saying this right?
Well, no, actually, I think maybe at one time they were talking about 3 phases, but it's now in 2 phases. Phase one is, like I said, pretty much all of the classrooms except for CTE, the cafeteria, the media center is also in phase one, and the administration offices. So once that's complete, they'll begin phase two, and phase two will be all of our CTE classrooms, including our ag.
Are they tearing that down too?
They are tearing down the ag building. So all of our ag classes will have brand new buildings, and it's a huge area that they're going to have. They're going to have big garage doors out the back.
Oh man!
They're going to have a classroom. They're going to have workspace, and then upstairs of that building will be, our business classes. We'll have Adobe up there. We'll have Tech Ed up there, drones. We'll have our medical assisting classes up there.
I didn't even know y'all offered that.
We do a lot of we're adding a lot, like now we're doing like vet tech class. So,
my goodness,
trying to give our students as many opportunities to get certified in things, and of course we've got internships and things like that.
Oh yeah,
just preparing them for their next step.
Wow.
So that's phase 2, and that's supposed to be complete in the fall of 2028. So about a year and a half after phase 1 is complete. That also includes our new gym, our main gym as well. So,
And you said that's supposed to be bigger than both of these two gyms that you got now.
yeah.
So, how many people is it supposed to sit? Because I know the old new gym was a little smaller than this gold gym that you're referring to. Because there's a lot more space here.
Yeah.
How many people is that one supposed to sit?
We're looking at around 1,500.
Oh, wow.
So one of the issues that we have when it's our turn to host, like the conference basketball tournament, we cannot get every person in
Oh, no.
our gym here. There's just not enough room. The last time we did it, there was like standing room only. It was crazy. But this new gym will allow us to hold those kind of events, even including some wrestling type playoff events here that will seat as many as we need to.
Is wrestling in the gold gym right now?
It is.
Is Matthew Linker still the coach?
He is.
Man, I remember who was the old coach? Rudd. Jimmy Rutherford was the coach.
Yep, Jimmy Rutherford was the coach. Of course, our wrestling program has a great tradition of winning.
Yes.
We had a state champion a couple of years ago.
Oh, man.
And I think Mr. Linker had one of the best years we've had in a long time last year. And we're looking for another good season from them. And I will just mention that this was the first year last year that we had girls wrestling.
Yeah, that's getting to be a big thing too. Because I'm now seeing, and I don't think this school has it, but I saw Watauga just got girls flag football. So flag football's becoming a thing.
It's crazy. Flag football was recently certified by the NCHSAA as a sport, along with male volleyball.
Does the school have male volleyball yet?
No, we don't. There is some interest there. I talked to a student last year. He said, "When are we going to get volleyball for guys?" And I said, "Well, I think it's coming. I just don't know exactly when it's going to be approved." And I think that's something we're still looking at. We don't have a girls flag football going right now or male volleyball, but that's something we continue to look at. Being a small school.
How many do you have, Trey?
We're right now at 387.
Okay.
So we're a little under 400. I think that's one of the things that we've been seeing. When I first came, we had over 400.
Oh, yeah. When I was here, it was over 5.
Yeah, it's been huge in the past, but enrollment's dropping, which hurts us.
Right.
We've probably lost 30, 40 kids since I first started as principal here.
Now, is that just moving new schools to play sports, or is that just?
It's a variety of reasons. Some are going to homeschool.
Right.
Some are going to some of the online companies that offer a degree, like Penn Foster is one to name one. But it's we need as many students as we can get because it can affect our funding.
Oh yeah, and I know Alleghany is a 2A school now. When the reclassifications happened, Alleghany became a 2A school. So,
and I just might want to mention, if we reclassified right now, we would be back to.
You dropped to 1A, because I was going to say, because I know it was over 400 or more as a 2A school. And I know, yeah, so if you reclassify, which in 4 years they will reclassify again.
Yes, and there's even at the 2-year mark they look at it again, but I don't really see us changing out of this conference. We're in a pretty good conference right now.
Oh yeah.
We can compete with those that are in our conference, and they're close by, and
that's the reason they did it, is close proximity.
Yeah, the proximity makes a huge difference, because you would not believe what our mileage and our fuel expense is.
Oh yeah.
even with these ones that are close by.
Sure.
So when we were previously in a conference with North Stokes, and
I remember.
it's a long drive.
Yes, it is. I sure do remember that. But now you're in a conference with the Wilkes schools, with Ashe County and Elkin and Starmount.
Yeah.
So, and I know because I just talked to a guy from North Surrey. Y'all play them first thing this year. It's a home game, so come on out, guys. Come enjoy a good football game. Travis, man, we can do this all day, but man, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you again. It's been a long time, and really good to see you. And
I
I wish
can't,
you good luck with
man.
this.
I can't thank you enough for everything you did for me, man.
Yeah.
It was again you, Wes, and Charlie, the three that got me into media, and took me a minute to get back into it, but man, I'm enjoying it. So, guys, that's Travis Sturgill. Travis, one more thing. What's the message for this school year?
Well, I tell you, we're focusing on attendance this year. That's an issue we've had over the past couple of years, and we want to get kids here. We're doing some intramurals this year.
Oh boy,
During Trojan Pride time, which is our intervention time,
you're
and I
right.
think the kids are really going to enjoy that. But to qualify or to be able to participate in that, they have to come to school.
Oh yeah,
And so we're really focused on that. We're really focused on building relationships with our students, with our parents. I think we're really focused on communication as well, and a rigorous classroom. I think that's what we want: bell-to-bell teaching, and like I say, we have a great staff here, and I just look forward to the upcoming year.
man, guys, that's Travis Sturgill, principal of Alleghany County High School. Guys, this has been good, man. So, Travis, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, go follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Go like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. And for Travis Sturgill, I'm JJ the Junebuggy Junior Mabe, and we will see you next time on Riding with Junebuggy.